seat at the table with some men with confidence.
What's the most thirstiest, simpest message that you've received in your DMs, Facebook, etc.?
So I had a guy say to me, girl, you're a nurse. I need mouth to mouth. Come resuscitate me.
What about you?
I mean, I've had like, damn, I should have been your baby daddy.
I don't want to say that.
What about you?
Hey, beautiful. You look so gorgeous, sweet, and beautiful lady. I'm interested in having you as my sugar baby. I'll be paying you $6,000 weekly allowance. I love you, and I know your friend Tiara. Hit me up.
You took that $6,000?
I'm good. Because like $6,000 ain't free.
The reason why I had y'all do that exercise was for truly one reason. So the woman can see, you ladies can see that you're not that special. Because the same thing a doing to Brandy is the same doing to Francis, same thing doing to Savannah, and the same thing is doing to Dana. The problem is with the simps when they do too much, because then it gives the woman an over sense of ego, and you could have a girl that's really like a 2, but she's thinking she's a 10, so she's disqualifying guys that she should actually be dating, but those other guys that she's getting attention from only want to hit. So she's 30 or 35, 40 now, and she can't get no serious relationship from men, and then she's talking about, oh, all men are crap. Well, all men aren't crap. You just disqualified all the other that really would take you seriously.
Welcome to the Open Mics podcast.
Right.
I am sitting in the host seat tonight. It's your boy Terrence. Looks like we got the whole crew in the building. So I'm going to give everybody a chance to drop an intro. What's going on, Hostile Soldier?
How's it going?
AKA
That's
Lionel.
I'm very glad to be here.
The host, Tony. How you doing?
It's me, Tony. I'm doing pretty good.
From a previous joke, yeah.
Yeah, the host, by the way. Okay, I see you. And then Tigger.
What's happening? What's happening?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna make that Jay-Z reference, so we're gonna leave that alone.
Also known as Sean. Nah, you good?
We don't celebrate him here.
Right.
But anyway.
No fly zone.
Yeah, no J zone here. So anyway, don't let me get off on my soapbox with that. We just go have a brief conversation about something that the fellas just had a opportunity to watch and Sean found hilarious. So I'm gonna pick up here first. Bro, what was the joke?
It was just the whole thing was like funny to me, man. Just like and it's I think it's the way he was the stuff that they were saying. It should have been my baby daddy. I should have been your baby daddy. The nurse give me mouth to mouth. I like that one. That one was fun. That one was fun.
Okay, so let me dial this back a little bit and just clarify what we're talking about here. We just watched a little reel where this guy had a panel of women sitting around and reading some thirsty comments that were made in their DMs, and it was really interesting to hear some of the comments made. You know, one guy offered a girl an exorbitant amount of money a month as an allowance if he could be her sugar daddy or something. Girl said no. There were a couple of other pickup lines dropped in there as well, but then the host decided to use those comments and flip the script on them to point something else out, which is you're not that special, because the same way guys are hitting on her, they're hitting on her, they're hitting on you, they're hitting on her, and y'all are all kind of hearing the same general spiel. But you ladies probably aren't all on equal footing, and that's just being real, no shade. So, you know, why do you feel like you should be getting the same treatment as everybody else when in reality you might be more of a 7 versus the 10 that you think you are, but you're, you know, hating on dudes who are probably a 7 like you, and you might want to give them more attention. It was an interesting dynamic. So I want to find out if there was a joke that Sean heard and the rest of us missed. I know that was a long-winded explanation, but anyway, that's what we on tonight. And fellas, chime in because I've been talking too much.
No, you good. Well, to follow up on the footnote, especially since I was laughing, that was the other part I was kind of laughing on because my man said, "You think you were 10 and you were 2," and I was like, "Whoa!" Not that he was insulting any of the particular ladies sitting there, but I'm like, "Whoa!" You think you were 10 and you were 2 when you turning down dudes that you shouldn't turn down, and I was like, "That's big of you." Go ahead and tell him.
But that was his point. He was
But that was
trying
his
to
point.
trying to point out that, hey, you're not the only one. Anyway,
And
there's some other
I get
people.
his point. I'm sorry. Can I just go ahead and go?
Absolutely.
I totally get his point, and he made it quite clear, and I don't disagree with it. But as a side note, I don't like this numbering system that women seem to put themselves under. Why would you think of yourself like that? You are confining yourself to this impossible space. And when you do that, you impose a certain image on yourself that you might not fit. And it's unfair to you more so than it is to anybody else. Don't if I've always thought that if I'm gonna lie, please don't let me lie to myself. But the other side of that is this guy is saying the same thing that Kevin Samuels has said in the past, in a much nicer, more easier to chew and digest way. That you're not super special just because some weirdo DMs you. First of all, I think DMing people is a weird. I guess if that's the only way you can get to talk to them, then fine. But don't be a weirdo and DM them something stupid like, "Hey, I got a bunch of puppies I want you to take a look at, and hey, maybe you could be my girl. I'll pay you $6,000 a month." What is that? That is so weird. And you make,
I think it was a week.
by doing that, these yeah. So first of all, I doubt you have that money. Second of all, you're probably a trafficker. And third of all, you're weird. And then you get regular guys going up to these women that genuinely want to have get to know them and try to talk to them in person, and they're already cutting them off because of you and your weird DMs. Like, really? You just ruined so much. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there and let somebody else take it.
Oh yeah, you dropped a whole bunch in there. But anyway, the host
I
hadn't
don't
heard much
know
from
what
you.
to say here. So we have he's the host, not me, the host, or Terrence the host, but he's the host of his show. And he's talking to these ladies, basically trying to tell them that, hey, you might be overextending your perceived value, talking about simps making long shots because that's what simps do, They got to take the long three because they can't play in the paint. They got to take the Steph Curry shot.
Well said.
Well said.
But I think it also exposes a certain group of guys that I don't really think are simps. I just think that they're the guys that shoot all the time. Like, you got the simps that just pull it from half court, but then you got your find me a good basketball reference. Like your Kobe Bryant's just putting up shots. Your AIs.
Your Tracy McGrady's who are just
your Tracy McGrady's.
Forget shooting percentage. Snatch it down rebounds.
Right.
If I take enough shots, one of them gonna go in. This might be telling my age. You're John Starks.
I was trying not to say it.
I actually forgot all about that guy.
If I
Okay.
take enough shots, I'm going to hit something.
Okay, so I want to double back to something Ronald said because, like I said, he mentioned a lot in his response. I was just like, "Wow, that's good. That's good." I want to get back to that. So, first thing he mentioned was this whole numbering system, right? And I'm not necessarily a fan of it. I don't particularly try to rate people in that regard personally, but unfortunately, it's something of a societal norm, and people identify and recognize it, so it's relatable. Sadly, um, but you said something about women doing it to themselves, and I thought that was interesting because I don't necessarily perceive it that way. I oftentimes think that it's more the man assigning those types of numbers, but I was just wanting you to kind of give more insight onto how you came to that position of the women assigning them to themselves. That was just interesting.
Well, I mostly hear women talk about that and bring this up. I'm a 10, I'm a 2, I'm a 7, I'm a strong 4. And don't get me wrong, I've heard men do it too, but I kind of always thought that was a women thing. And it kind of bothered me because I'm like, why do y'all put yourselves under this on this particular scale? Because you
Hmm.
do yourself a disadvantage. Because I've met some women that I'm like, she ain't no 10. She's at least a 17, you know. And then I've met some that I'm like, yeah, you'll never
I
be a
love
strong 2. I'm sorry,
it.
ma'am. You know, but not to use their rating system against them. I kind of think either I'm attracted to you or I'm not. And I know different strokes for different folks. Everyone has things that they like. I was once walking with an associate, and we met a lady, and I was like, I like her. She is pretty. I would talk to her, and he was like, "What? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What's wrong with me? She's pretty." He did not think so. You know, so I'm just not gonna. I just think it's unfair to confine yourself to a box.
I
You know, and
agree.
that's just
That's
across the
fair.
board. You put yourself in a box, and you can't fit in that box. Come on, come
No,
on.
that's fair. Fair point.
But that was all. I just think either you are attractive or you don't, and it doesn't even really matter what I think, because the next guy coming along is gonna be like, "Wow, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Will you do me the honor of being my wife?" Me? Nah, I'm good. You have a good day, man. You know?
Okay. So I want to see if we can drop this in the chat and just kind of ask the people what they think. Do they feel like this is more of a women rating themselves type of thing, or do they feel that more men assign these types of number things out? Because again, from my perspective, I always thought it was more of a guy thing, but clearly there are different perceptions. I'm just curious to see what the people think.
So
Anyway,
let me jump in
go ahead.
real quick, if you don't mind. So Ronald gave a really good perspective, from the eyes of a man, the looking for quality in a woman and a man with morals and that stuff. But everybody
Uh-oh.
got any looking for
Here it comes. Let's go. Let's
let's
go.
talk about the guy that ain't looking for personality or to see if he's attractive. He's looking to see what that thing do and how big it is.
Right. How that thing move with it.
Wow. So we going there. Okay.
There, did I knock somebody right now?
God dang
Whoa.
it.
But there are guys that are like that. I don't personally consider myself one of them. I like to believe that I'm above that, but I still like to see what that thing do and how big it is. But anyway,
Boy.
Okay.
okay. So continuing my point.
Continue.
My point is that
Continue.
okay, so if you're not looking for personality compatibility and all that good stuff, if you're just looking at aesthetics, then for the most part, there's consensus to like what's attractive and what's not attractive overall. Not like there's always going to be somebody that say I don't like that. And there's always going to be one person over there that I like that and no one else agrees with it. But for the most part, attractiveness is kind of consensus. Like on average, and I'm not just talking black guys, white guys, what have you. I'm talking about men as a whole tend to like certain things about women, and women as a whole tend to like certain things about men. And like most women will find the same guys attractive, most men will find the same women attractive. And now I don't know who came up with the number 10. Maybe Bo Derek, you can blame her for that. She's the one that stamped it on the movie. But there tends to be a numbering system. And when it comes to how people value that, I think that one of the things that also happens a lot is I think one of the things that Ronald touched on, and one of the things that was touched in the video, is that some ladies overinflate their rating. Right? Everybody's a 10. Everybody can't be a 10. In order for there to be a 10, there must be a 9, an 8, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, 2, and a 1. Like there has to be other numbers in order for you to be a 10. But I feel like I'm digging a hole for myself, so I'm gonna give up the mic right now.
No, you woo. Was a little worried on where this thing was going. We started talking about what it do, what it don't do, how big, how look. But Sean,
Yes, sir.
getting and grinning. I need you to chime in.
Hey, man. So I mean, old school, all the way back. I'm agree with Tone. There was always a rating system assigned, and that is true. I kind of feel what Rhino's saying though from that standpoint. It's kind of taken over. It's kind of been taken over by women. Trying to dig for that self confidence and things like that. And they want to put themselves as 10s when they meet the criteria, like Tony's saying. Of what they know. We men have always been visual, so men are drawn to the same thing. And the point that my man makes in the chat in the video, where he was talking about, that's why he was trying to tell, in my opinion, those 3 10s up there, the fact that y'all are all 10s. So since all of you are 10s, you can't be. That doesn't make you special. There's another 10 right over here, and another 10, and a 17. Somewhere that Ronald was talking about, and a 24 that we ain't even seen yet. If you keep scrolling on Snap,
I don't want to meet them.
Yeah, listen, dude. I'm so with you, Tom. I'm so with you. But I get my man's point and the rating system, and I think I have a tendency to think that I do hear it more. I think from women assigning it like to themselves, when it comes down to the actual numbers from that standpoint, guys, we tend to see to point out, the differences in this versus that. You know what I'm saying? Man, she ain't got no, but that's a pretty set. Boy, them twins is lovely. That we assign it to exactly what we looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We gonna assign it to that, and we know also too that like you know what I mean. I guess you'd say, regardless, like there's different 10s, and then there's beauty is an eye of the beholder. I've seen some 3s though that I would still, even if I was gonna say that, and I wouldn't want to necessarily call her a 3 because I'd still sitting over there like that style though. She got a little something. She got some something calling me, boy. I want to find out. She looked like she could make me call Jesus. I got to know. It's just the stride and the smell and the style. And it's just see, all that stuff goes together. You know what I'm saying? So, and then goes back to what Tony was saying, that beauty is an eye of the beholder. So I think, knowing that, that's why we don't get wrapped up into what's a 10, a 17, a 24, because we be all over the map, man, with different you can't really walk it in, you know what I mean?
It's too subjective. It's too subjective. The fact of the matter is, and to kind of echo something Dave Chappelle said about Twitter, ratings aren't real. Ratings aren't real.
Right.
All right. Even if you say you're a strong 7, that's not real. All right. What's real is you meet somebody and they want to date you. Or for that matter, how you feel about yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You're the one that has to have a high opinion of yourself, not overshot into thinking that you're better than everybody else to the point of arrogance, but high enough that you can live a confident, normal life without burdening yourself with this imaginary rating scale. That's what's important.
I like it. Well said. That is definitely way more important than some fictional number floating over your head that no one can see and is totally.
Let me jump in.
Go ahead.
To that, because I think it is important to know what you're rated as far as aesthetically. Like, if you're at the higher part of that list or the lower part of the list. If you're more attractive to men or women or less attractive to men and women. Like, there is a real rating assigned to you by the other sex. Like, you may either like your number or not like your number, but there's a number. Now, here's the thing about it is that even if there's a number, let's say there is a number for you, and let's say that your number is real high aesthetically. Let's say you're a 9 or a 10. You could still not be somebody's cup of tea.
True.
You could be the most beautiful, sexiest thing out there. But if you're musty, and I don't want to deal with you.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's
I feel
it.
like I have to make a disclaimer at some point here and just tell people we're not necessarily talking about anyone in particular, so please don't take any of these comments personal.
Right.
I just felt like that needed to be said.
Right. Like, if you were 8 and you got a stank attitude, same thing. That could make someone not want to be with you. At the same time, you could be a 4 and have a great personality and getting swooped up.
But you know what,
Tony?
Go ahead, Ronald.
You're. It's still subjective, though. I mean, get rid of the numbers.
Yes.
Get rid. Okay, attractive, fine, but get rid of the number, and everything you said is just subjective. Because I might be attracted to you, but as soon as I see that ring on your finger and I know that you're married, my attractiveness dries up just like that. I would no longer want nothing to do with you. And it's not because I think you're a 2. It's not because you went from a 9 to a 7 or to a 4. I just realized you're married. You're off the table. That's me. Somebody else, to the next man, he might be, I don't care. Y'all happy? All right, well, come be happy with me.
So wait a minute. A woman can't be attractive and still be married?
She can, but I'm talking about the subjectiveness of it all in terms of wanting a woman. All right. If I meet a woman, I might be attracted to her. Hey, baby girl, let's go get some coffee sometime. Oh, I'm married. Oh, my bad. You have a good one.
See, but you're talking about 2 different scales.
Right.
There's one scale of just looking, and then there's the second scale of, do I want to shoot my shot at her?
So let me ask you this, Tone. This is what I was going to say. Have you never met a 4? Okay, let's be for real. Okay, you said we may not like our numbers, right? But have you never met or seen a 4 but be pulling them? be pulling them cuz don't got no shortage left, right, indifferent at all. You gotta rank by your system, by the one that you saying that, like, you know, when you go by, you know, what assets you have, you know, how you present it and things like that, and like you say, of a just eyeball scale. But I have seen fours on an eyeball scale that is pulling them in. I mean, I'm talking about making them across the room, cat.
Well, so let's. You're gonna make me say this, okay, Sean?
Yes, I am. Fault. I'm gonna make you do it. Yes, I am.
This is your fault.
Okay.
Okay, so buckle up. Let's prepare to watch. Let's prepare to ride. Okay, so when we talk about the numbers, we're just talking about aesthetic. We're just talking about looks, right? So let's say a man is a 4, but he's pulling a lot of girls. Why is he pulling a lot of girls? He got money.
Okay, I got you.
He might be charming, might have a nice ride. Maybe he's even good verbally, right? But chances are he has something else other than looks aiding him to be attractive, right? Let's say a woman's a 4, right? Meaning she may not be the most aesthetically pleasing. She's barely under average. But we all know that a woman, she ain't got to look good everywhere. She can just look good in one spot.
What I'm saying. That's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier.
And that will attract a certain group of guys, right?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
We're having this conversation.
That's what I said. That's what kicked it.
I told you this is his fault, by the way. He made me answer this question. Like, you know,
assign that blame. Point it out.
I was going to Rhino's point when I said it, Tone, just to say that, you know
you
that's
got
what
your
makes
white
it
meat guys and your dark
though.
meat guys.
That's why you can't call her a 4.
You got your white meat guys and your dark meat guys. You know, you get your white meat going up top, your dark meat going down.
Yeah. I like that.
Wow.
I'm a short thigh man.
Oh boy.
What'd you say, Sean?
I'm a short thigh man. Yeah, I've always went for that short thigh. I like that short thigh.
Okay.
Give me my dark meat.
Yes, leg quarters.
Yes, sir. Stay right there. Love me a leg quarter.
This is where we at now.
It was bound to happen, bro.
It was.
All Sean's fault, man. Just to remember that it's all Sean's fault. He made me do it.
For a change, Sean, this is someone else blaming you for this, not me.
I see. I see. But that's all right. I did it.
Put down the mic.
I did it.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how did I lose control of this? Where did this go off the rails?
I'm gonna let you save it right now.
I don't know if I can. I don't feel qualified to try and save this, but I got to do something. So, moving past that, do any of you have any sort of self-imposed rating systems on yourselves? We always talk about not assigning it to other people, but do we, and that again speaks to that question or that point that Rhino made about people self-imposing or self-assigning. Do any of you do it?
I'll jump in on that. Shoot. I think physically, aesthetically, I might be around a 4 or 5.
I wasn't asking you to give us a number. I just wanted to know if you did it for yourself, or if you just like are so removed from it that now I don't even think like that.
4.5, 4 3/4 sometimes.
He's still going with his number. Okay.
I don't think like that. I don't think like that about myself. I mean, I know intimately what my flaws are, or at least what I think they are, but I don't put myself on a scale in that fashion. Now I have a scale that I stand on to weigh myself, but in terms of attractiveness, no, I don't do that. Maybe I might be one of those delusional people that think I'm super handsome. I don't know. But I for the most part, I'm not gonna put a number to it. I'm not.
That's
I'm just
fair.
not gonna do that. I think that's
Go ahead, Sean. I'll follow you.
Yeah. I am. I may not have a number that I run with, but I am acutely aware of again, some of the things like Tony was saying. I mean, I have a coworker now, a male coworker, and I know that if he and I were both single and we're hanging out and we're going places, you know, from an aesthetic level, I'm his wingman. Like I can automatically assign that to myself, like to begin with. If we're in a crowded club and that girl is smiling and just real heavy in our direction, so while I may not assign a number to it, I'm acutely aware of where I am or where I possibly may be on that scale. Now, it is possible. I'm not saying, because to go back to Ronald's point, I know it's possible for her to come over there, or be actually speaking to me or have some waiter or whatever say, hey, that young lady sent her number on this napkin here to you. But I promise you, probably both me and my homeboy I went out with, which I might have to feel some type of way after when that napkin's for me, we might both be like, yo, it's mine, dog. It's mine this time. How about that?
Okay. Okay. So first thought was I was good, Sean. You know you my dog, so
Right. I
don't take
got
this
you.
the wrong way.
You was
But
great getting
when
me.
you started to say I'm acute, I was like, what is he about to call himself a cute sauce?
I know.
But
No.
you cleaned it up with acutely aware. I was like, okay,
Acutely aware.
okay, I got you.
Nah.
Second thought was, when did we ever work together? But
You
moving
know what?
past that,
Never.
never.
You never been my coworker.
moving past that,
So let me
moving
jump in.
past, go
Let me
ahead.
jump in because I was saying that I think I'm about a 4.55 as far as rating goes. But at the end of the day, like I don't think that I'm above average looks. I don't think I'm like really below average looks either. I think I'm like right in the
4.5.
middle. Just barely. I'm a
Just
thick boy.
saying.
I have 6 foot something pounds. That's two somethings worth of pounds. Not one something, but two something
Look,
pounds.
look,
But
thick boys are in.
but the
Just
main thing
saying.
is I'm not limited by that. Like I can
True.
speak. I can have a conversation. I'm not a dummy. Like at least I don't think so.
Oh, true
No,
I,
statement.
not at
I would
all.
Oh,
like
true
to think that
statement.
I'm funny sometimes. Like
Well,
I
we
don't
have
I don't
proven
feel that
here
I'm
you are.
limited
Right.
by just the aesthetics. I feel like I'm more than just looks.
Right.
And I don't feel like my looks are a limitation for me. Like I may not be Boris Cujo, but
Boy.
I'm still I feel confident in who I am. I'm perfect. The main thing is I'm perfectly fine with who I am. I don't
Right.
question who I am. I don't regret not being a 7. So like that's the genetic lottery that I won.
That's an interesting point. You don't regret not being a 7. That just hit me differently when you said, it's like, do I regret not being a different number higher than what I think? I had to ponder that one for a second, just for myself, because I'm not arrogant enough to say I would be a 10, but I know where I think I'm at, and I wonder, should I be higher? Hmm.
I mean, I don't think I'm a high number, but I do think I'm cute, and I know I'm sexy.
This is
You had to do it.
every time we go back to you got a different.
Oh no, I know what he's talking about. So he's trying to
Yeah.
be slick. I see you
Yeah.
there, the HPK.
Like
I
I got
got
to
you.
look.
Oh yeah,
Tribes,
the wrestling
wow.
references. Yeah, we gotta keep up. Yeah, we gotta keep up with them. I forgot. My bad. My bad. My bad.
But
That was right on cue.
I in the past I've suffered from what they call low self-esteem to the point that I found and lost the great white buffalo in San Diego, California. Uh, so sometimes I'm still surprised that to discover that hey, women are attracted to me. They don't say it. I think they expect us to be psychic and to come to them.
Right.
I'm
Right.
I'm not
My
psychic.
God.
If you like me,
I
I don't know.
swear.
There's been many times women have been giving me hints, and I didn't get it, but then I thought back on it. Hey,
Yeah,
and
right.
I
Right.
missed out.
Always. Always.
But I'm always I guess I still to whatever degree am surprised when women are attracted to me, and if that's a point of reference for me, then it does kind of raise my self-esteem and helps me to realize that hey, I'm not that bad.
Cool. Glad
So
you are at least able to take that positive away from it.
Man, I could have been married and divorced to a hot chick by now. 2 kids that
Hey.
won't speak to me because they sided with mom.
I'm a chime in, man. I got the right group of friends because what y'all are calling a rating and we rating on ourselves, I still call modesty. And I think that's where you're supposed to be at. You know what I mean? I think when to Terrence's, to bring it full circle, he's saying, do I regret not being a 10? I think if I was a 10, if I was a 11, if I was a 21, I probably would still rate. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? I would probably always rate myself probably lower than that. And that's not necessarily a self-confidence thing, it's just a modesty thing. I would rather be on a scale where I'm not walking around thinking to myself, I got it, and I know I got it, all the way got it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna step in a room and light it up right now. But the stuff that y'all talking about, because see, I completely agree. I'd rather actually be well-rounded. I rate myself lower here on the aesthetic, but know that I can make up ground. Like that same coworker I was talking about. That's why I said wingman, because I know I can make up ground over what pulled her group over here. You know what I'm saying? In the end, I can make up my ground. I have confidence within myself enough to know that, hey, this is what I look like, and I'm the best version of me. I'm the best version of me that I can be. You know what I'm saying? I can't be that version of anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Let him be him. I'm gonna be me. We're gonna do our thing. But as far as modest, it would take somebody else, and I have had that blissfully. I have had other people, come to you and say, hey, I'm walking around like, you walking around like you a 3, you like a 10, right? That's how I see you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's where that's supposed to come from. It's just like when a chef cooks, right? You know, what's the biggest compliment? Other people complimenting your food, right? Other people coming to you be like, hey boy, you did your thing on these ribs, man. What kind of sauce? You got any more up in there? That's where it's supposed to, I think, really come from. So I call what we doing, as far as when you put yourself on a little bit lower scale, I think it's a little bit of modesty. And we're supposed, you're supposed to be there and then tell yourself or have somebody else tell you that you're on a larger scale.
Okay, Sean, you stepping on something that I want to throw out to the group in another session with that M word. So I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight, but we're gonna definitely have to address that because
Let me
that
interrupt you if you don't
modesty
mind.
thing. Go for it.
Okay, so I like the thought of you are where you should be, because I think, and this is all jokes aside, I think I've been joking this whole thing, but all jokes aside, I think that us being where we are aesthetically is part of the reason, or even where we think we are aesthetically is part of the reason why we develop the personalities that we do. Because I'm pretty sure if I was a 9 or a 10, I'd be a straight villain. I would not.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you, Toad. I'm with you.
I would.
Yes,
I would have
sir.
I would have a cape, a staff, horns on it, a skull, like the whole get up, and my abs would show in my villain outfit. I'd make
Yes,
sure that
sir.
my abs are popping. But
Yes,
Okay.
but I think it's good that we are who we are, and I think that not in as guys, I think we realize where we are early in life. Like, you know, when you ain't the most handsome dude in the room, you know, well, some of us anyway. Like, you know, because you're not the most handsome dude in the room, and you learn to not just accept that, but you learn to, like, okay, I can't grab another face and put it on. So what else can I work on? Right? What else can I put effort in?
right.
Well, I can put effort in my mind. I can put effort in my decision making. I can put effort in who I choose to be. I could put effort in my confidence. I could put effort in being not, and this goes back to the video, not a simp, but go back to being, I can be a polite, grounded guy. Like, I can be kind and not weak at the same time. Like, I don't have to be kind and weak. I can be kind and strong. Like, I can be those things at the same time. And I can develop that in spite of me not having the more chestnut face or whatever, you know.
Right. I get that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I
you know
like
what?
that.
I was gonna say, I feel like that comment, honestly, is a really good place to put a pin in this. Honestly, it was succinct. It covered all the bases, and we've been going at this for a little bit. And before it goes off the rails again, I'm gonna put the brakes on right here. Um, Tony just dropped a gem. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Okay.
I mean, you know,
Well,
there's what is there to add? You know, take regular showers, dress nice, comb your hair. If you don't have hair, go with that.
Don't be musty.
turtle.
Yeah, don't be
Don't
musty.
be
Yeah, don't be musty. If you take
Brush
nothing else from this, don't be musty.
That'll subtract
Yeah.
10 points.
Brush your teeth, invest in
Gosh.
breath mints.
Oh my. Okay.
Get a
Yeah.
job.
So okay. So after all of that, I just want to say appreciate everybody who hung in here with us tonight, having fun with the mics. Oh, definitely. If there was something legit that we did not cover or address, feel free to drop a comment on this because we always double back and check those to see if there was some insight that we missed, something we could learn from. Outside of that, thank y'all for listening. Like, share, subscribe. God bless you. Good night. Peace.
Peace.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.